Lisa Welsh, the director of the Homes for Heroes Foundation. We are here today to talk about the 20th anniversary of 9/11 and all of the sacrifices our heroes made that day and continue to make every day. And also to talk about a nonprofit that's continuing to honor those sacrifices with some special programs, which we'll get to in just a minute. I'm joined by Jack Oehm, who's the retired Battalion Commander with the FDNY, New York Fire Department, and also a board member of the nonprofit Tunnel to Tower. So Jack, first and foremost, welcome and thank you for your service.
Well, thank you, Lisa. Glad to be here.
To start, can you just tell us a little bit about what led you to become a firefighter and just share a little bit about what 9/11 was like for you personally as a member of the FDNY on that day, on 9/11?
Sure. Well, for me, it was a simple choice. Ever since I was a kid, I was, I guess, thrilled by seeing a fire truck go by or firemen in the street and coming to our school and talking to us and telling us what they do for their community. So I knew right away when I was 5 or 6 years old that I always wanted to be a fireman. But you know, back in the 60s and 70s, the city of New York wasn't doing that well financially. So you know, my father said, you know, you still have to go to college. So I got a degree in accounting because in 76, I don't know if you remember that New York City went bankrupt. So they were laying off firemen. So I wasn't 100% sure that I could ever fulfill my childhood dream of being a fireman. My track coach at Monsignor Farrell High School was a young fireman himself, a part-time track coach for us, and just told me all about the fire department. He unfortunately died in a fire in 1977. I went to his funeral, and I was so impressed by the brotherhood, the family of the firemen that came and honored Marty Selleck on his death, that I said, this is the job I want. And I went out, I prepared for it, the physical and the written part, and 1981 fulfilled my dream of becoming a New York City fireman, which to this date I still think is the best job in the whole world. My experiences on 9/11, as many firemen experienced, a sense of loss, deep loss of friends, colleagues, co-workers, also friends that were not firemen that died, that happened to be working at the World Trade Center on that beautiful morning of 9/11 that it was. So the loss, the hole in our hearts will never be fully healed, but as time goes on, we don't forget, and we never forget. We can never forget what happened to us, but the pain does subside a bit. But you know, I always dedicated to 20 of my men that we lost in my battalion that morning, and to this day, I still take one of our widows down to the site. Her husband was one of our lieutenants on that day, and he died down there. He was never recovered, as 40% of the people that were murdered that morning at the World Trade Center, 40% of those people, we never recovered a body part for them. So this is where her husband's buried, and this is where I take her every year on 9/11. That morning, I was an off-duty battalion chief. I got into the site after the second tower came down, so after 10:30 in the morning, and we simply, for the next 9 months, we're looking and searching for survivors. After a couple of weeks, then became a recovery effort and tried to look for and find any bodies or body parts that we could to bring closure to those families that lost their loved ones. It was a tough time of my life, but it was a great time of my life because I saw the goodness of America in those 9 months following the attacks. How many people came to our aid, came to our city to help us in our time of need. So it was very fulfilling time of my life, a very sad part of my life. But, you know, good and bad memories, and I like to focus on the good memories of 9/11.
Thank you for sharing about your own experiences. I know that's not easy. As you said, though, is we never want to forget, and we want to honor that incredible unbelievable bravery of our first responders on that day. And to continue to honor our heroes, you currently serve as a board member on the nonprofit Tunnel to Towers. Can you tell us why Tunnel to Towers was founded and
Sure.
what is the main mission?
It was founded by Stephen Silla's three brothers and his three sisters. Stephen was an off-duty firefighter that morning. He was going to play golf with his brothers in our hometown of Staten Island. Was almost at the golf course that morning, and he heard about the first plane. And Stephen's story is so unique in that he got back to his firehouse. He got all his gear, went to the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, which was closed down for traffic into Manhattan for security reasons. And Stephen made a choice, a great choice in my mind. He's left his car right on the highway, put 60 pounds of firefighter gear on his back, ran through the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, which is 1.7 miles long, up West Street, and he ran into the South Tower trying to save lives that morning. Stephen unfortunately died along with 342 other New York City firefighters. His three brothers and his three sisters raised him since he was 10 years old. He was an orphan at 10. He was the baby of 7. Stephen was the baby. And like I said, his three brothers and three sisters raised him since he was 10 years old. And they wanted to honor Stephen and honor those 2,977 Americans that were killed that morning so that we would never forget. And the foundation has been doing that for the last 20 years to honor and to remember all those that we lost on 9/11.
Right. Right. And so can you just speak a little bit to what programs Tunnel to Towers offers? What sort of programs are offered to first responders
Sure.
and
we
other
honor
heroes
the
today?
Sacrifices of our military men and women and our first responders, our police officers, our firefighters, our EMS workers, our EMTs. We honor them and we pledge, we promise them that if they go into harm's way to protect us and our communities, and God forbid they don't come home to their families, the Stephen Silla Tunnel to Towers Foundation will pay off their mortgages for their families. We also built smart homes for our military heroes coming home from the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan with a catastrophically injured service personnel coming home from these wars. We build them a smart home. These guys are quadruple, triple, double amputees that have been blown up in the war, protecting us and our freedoms. So we build them a smart home all over this great country so they can live an independent life. Think about what you do every morning, every day. You get up, you go to the bathroom, you take a shower, you get a glass of water. These guys can't really do that with their prosthetic arms and legs. So these smart homes enable them to live an independent life. To date, this Tunnel to Towers Foundation has built over 100 of these smart homes all over this country. We have pledged to build 200 homes all over this country. So we're in the process. Every year we build about 15 of these homes and deliver these homes to catastrophically injured service men and women. For our fallen first responders,
wow,
the police officers, firefighters, EMS, they go into the line of fire for us. They die in the line of duty. We will pay off their mortgages if they have a young family. And we also pay off mortgages for Gold Star families. A Gold Star family is a family that lost a loved one fighting for freedom overseas in a war. They have young families. Our foundation will pay off their mortgages. To date, in 2021, we have paid off over 200 mortgages for fallen first responders and Gold Star families.
Yes, Tunnel to Towers, just an amazing charity. Over 90%, like 93% of funds go directly to programs, 250 million to programs. So, all of those funds really go directly to support the heroes, as you said, Gold Star first responder families across the country with smart homes or mortgage payoffs, depending on the circumstances. It's really incredible. And so this year being the 20th anniversary of 9/11, to honor that anniversary, there's a specific number of homes that are involved for the nation's heroes. Is that right? How are you honoring the 20th anniversary?
We're doing a lot of things. I don't know if you know about Frank Siller's walk from our chairman and CEO. Frank is one of Stephen's brothers, and Frank started his walk August 1st at the Pentagon, where he laid a wreath for all those that were killed on 9/11 at the Pentagon. He's walking from the Pentagon to Shanksville, where he laid another wreath at the Shanksville Memorial, and I was happy to be there with him and proud and honored to be there with him on that day when we laid the wreath. And then he's walking from Shanksville. He's going to arrive on Staten Island September 9th. September 10th, he'll be in Brooklyn. And September 11th, he's following, retracing Stephen's footsteps right through the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, and going to wind up at Ground Zero about 8:30 in the morning. If you remember, the first plane hit the North Tower at 8:46. So that's Frank and our chairman honoring, again, those 2,977 Americans by walking over 500 miles in 42 days, which is a great feat. And I'm so proud to be part of Frank's walk. But we're also paying off those mortgages. Like I said, the wars are coming to an end in Afghanistan and Iraq, thank God. But the injuries are still there. So we're still building smart homes for our catastrophically injured servicemen and women. And we're also paying off mortgages for first responders. The police officers, unfortunately, with the political climate out there, police officers are getting shot at a higher rate than ever. They are dying at a higher rate than ever, unfortunately. So our foundation is stepping up and taking care to ease the financial burden of those families that lose their husbands or their wives while they're going out protecting us and our families so we can sleep safely at night. So for me, and I think all Americans, this is the very least we can do to provide for those people that sacrifice so much for us. So again, we're going to be paying off over 200 mortgage-free homes this year.
Yes, yeah, amazing. I know Tunnel to Towers had pledged over 200 mortgage-free homes in this year to celebrate the 20th anniversary, which is just an amazing commitment. The Homes for Heroes Foundation had donated $50,000 to help with one of those mortgage payoffs this year for the Cortez family. He was also a firefighter who was killed in the line of work. Can you share just a little bit about the Cortez family and their sacrifice?
Goes to how dangerous our jobs are, because firefighter Cortez died at a training exercise. So the fire department, as the police departments all over this country, we train, I know in New York City Fire Department, we train day tours, we train night tours, 365 days a year, we will train our men so that when we go to a fire or any kind of incident, we know what to do and we don't get injured or we don't get killed because of our training. So sometimes bad things happen, and unfortunately, firefighter Cortez was killed at a training exercise, leaving behind the wife and two small young kids. So the Tunnel to Towers Foundation heard about this, and one of my jobs here at the foundation is every fireman that dies nationwide comes across my desk, and I investigate it. I look into it, make sure it's a line of duty death, and then I okay it, and I pass it up to my bosses. They okay it, and then we get to pay off, and we do some good by paying off that mortgage for the family and easing that financial burden. So it just goes to show you how dangerous we can die in training accidents, and we can die at fires, and obviously police officers also die responding to accidents, responding to incidents, and getting shot at and getting killed by criminals. So dangerous jobs, both professions, very dangerous. And like I said before, it's a no-brainer for most Americans. Let's support those men and women that are putting themselves in jeopardy and in danger to keep us safe. It's a simple thing to do, and I think it's a great thing to do. And I'm so proud of our foundation for doing it.
Absolutely. Tunnel to Towers is helping our country come together, helping our heroes and their families rise up and continue to move forward, showing all that love and support. For anyone who wants to learn more about Tunnel to Towers, again, you said you had several the walk, run, and climb events. Those are not only in New York and coming from DC up to New York. There are other ones around the country for anyone who wants to get involved. On 9/12, there'll be a reading of the names. I understand there's a Let Us Do Good Village that's in the works in Florida for our heroes. So there's a lot of projects, a lot going on, ways to donate, fundraise, and get involved. Go to t2t.org. That's t2t.org. And if you'd like to learn more about Homes for Heroes, go to homesforheroes.com. So thank you so much for your time today, Jack. Thank you for your service as a firefighter and continuing to serve heroes through the Tunnel to Towers organization. Can't really say thank you enough, for everything that you have
Just
done and are continuing
Lisa,
to do. So
if I could
thank
say
you.
one more thing. Thank you for those thanks. But,
Yes.
Being a fireman is, was my passion, was my calling, if you will. And, I always knew it was the best job in the world before 9/11. And then people saw what we did on 9/11, and I realized how special and how wonderful our job is. And it's not a job, it's a calling, like I said before. And to do it is, just I wish I was still doing it. That's what I'll say. But we can't. What we do as a foundation, we cannot do alone. We need partners out there, and we have a lot of corporate partners. We have a lot of not-for-profit partners, and we want to say thank you for Homes for Heroes for donating that $50,000 to help us pay off the Cortez's family's mortgage. Like I said, we don't exist in a bubble. We cannot do it without the help of corporations, not-for-profits, and individual Americans that give us money monthly. We ask for $11 a month, which isn't a lot of money. Most people can afford $11 a month. And like you said, you can send that to our website, tunneltotowers.org, t2t.org. So Lisa, thank you. It was my pleasure to be here. And thank you for Homes for Heroes for helping us help our first responders.
Absolutely. Our pleasure. And again, go to t2t.org. If you'd like to donate, get involved, support our heroes. Obviously, it's honoring 9/11 and the sacrifices that day, but those sacrifices continue today. And it's really just awe-inspiring to have firefighters such as yourself, other first responders in our military who are out there doing so much for our country and each of our communities. So thank you. Thank you.
Grants provided by the Homes for Heroes Foundation, like the one to Tunnel to Towers, are made possible by the Homes for Heroes Circle of Giving and its network of real estate professionals who are committed to providing savings to hero groups such as firefighters, EMS, law enforcement, among others. To learn more about the savings available to heroes through Homes for Heroes, or to learn more about how the Homes for Heroes Foundation is helping heroes in dire need, visit homesforheroes.com.